Hello,
What's your
hello,
name?
and welcome to the third episode of the Gentleman's Podcast. This episode is going to be an English one. We have Metin from Skopje, and we have Jagdip all the way from Silicon Valley, California. And today we're going to talk about the different perspectives each side takes upon the startup scene in each region. So, guys, you can introduce yourselves. What do you do? What's your hobby? And what's your main role in the startup community?
Okay, so can Jack start as he's our guest from all the way from California?
Yes, sir.
So,
What's up, guys? Uh, Dimitar, Metin, hello, and thank you for having me on your show,
It's a
Dimitar. This
pleasure.
is, yes, coming from Silicon Valley, a little background about myself. Over here, we've been working on it's called virtual mental health. So it is a digital tool that is aimed at helping anyone, anywhere access mental health services. And
Hmm.
actually, on that note, I would like to add to the fact that instead of, I like to call it two different things. One is mental health, and the other one is wellness, just overall wellness. So,
Hmm. How do you
me, my
differentiate them both?
a partnership for wellness. So instead of that's what I like to call it now. I don't want to call it, hey, let me go to the hospital to get medicine, or let me go to
Yeah.
the psychiatrist to get a therapy. No, I have a partnership for wellness with different care providers that may be in one setting, in another setting, and a third one could be another setting, a fourth, as many different settings as you need to have a proper care plan. So
Hmm.
that partnership for wellness, we're trying to create because I myself, throughout the past many months, I've been devising my own care plan, and it includes a lot of different things. It has natural medicine, it has meditation, it has spiritual, religions, and there's many music, a lot of good music. So all those things combined make a better wellness plan for myself, and that's
Hmm.
yeah. I mean, I'll just to stay on the introduction side of things for now. So virtual mental health and some hobbies. I'm opening up at the current time. I'm opening up my Ford Hybrid Escape vehicle, and it is
Wow.
amazing the different ways that they've combined. So it has Microsoft Sync in it. Microsoft and Ford partnered up, man, way back in the day, to have the hybrid vehicles come out. So the Microsoft Sync, it does the calibrations between everything regarding regenerative braking, the heat, the hybrid battery system. So it's trying to devise the most balanced way that gives you the most amount of energy efficiency. And I had two of these cars. My cousin had one, and he donated his to charity. And before doing that, we took out a couple of components from it, and I've been playing around with those components on the side. That's been really fun.
Okay, that's real interesting. I want to hear about that. We can get into that later in the podcast, but that's really
Okay,
interesting. I've started to read a lot about hybrid and electric cars, so that would be
okay,
a very interesting topic to get in. Okay, so
definitely.
Metin, you can start off.
yeah, okay, so from my side, I'm I'm a founder of a startup in Skopje. It's an virtual assistant also. It's an AI assistant that helps people organize sport activities, sport games, as we can say. Because I've been having my this problem recently when I was playing with my friends and stuff. It took a lot of time. It was very time consuming to get all of them just to play a single game. Call one,
Hmm.
call another, text the other, he's sleeping, he's that. So I tried to develop a kind of virtual assistant that would help me just, the had the headache on the side and just focus on the game probably. So by that, we developed an AI assistant that you can just go tell him the information for the game. He generates a website and invites your friends to play the game. So you don't have to bother on that side also.
Nice.
Mm-hmm. Wait, so
So
how
yeah,
long have you
regarding
had that
the
startup for?
Well, we have been working on the AI assistant like 1 year and so, and we just launched on February. Yeah, it was like end of February. We had a great media coverage. We launched also on Product Hunt. It was a kind of, I can say, a very successful launch. It was you had more than users than I expected. We were one of the products of the day on Product Hunt. We worked a lot for that day, so I think it was worth it. Currently, we have some users, but we are just preparing for the situation. I think helped us a lot. We are preparing for the next stage. We are focusing more on product development than marketing. I think it was useful.
So at which
Nice.
stage of development are you right now?
Well, when we launched, we actually launched the beta phase currently, or 0.1, as I can say. Currently, we are working on to have the 1.0 product. So it would be, with the full features. More the launch, as I can say, it was more of a market testing, and it was successful. People want the product. We have to focus on creating it and delivering it to people. So we are currently
Nice.
developing the
I,
zero.
I can see that tool picking up so much activity over here as well. With now that everybody's, well, for the current time being, everybody's staying at home. That's exactly what I'm doing. The problem you stated, somebody's sleeping. I call some of my other friends. He's like, "Oh, I'm playing video games," or so it's like it's hard to get everybody to play one activity at any set time. Oh man, I can see that helping us out here so much.
Well,
That's cool.
thank you.
I would be very
Really.
interested in access to an early demo.
Yes, is that? Oh yeah.
Yeah, you can just go to the website, or I will just deliver you the link. Actually, the demo or the product will be on your chatting platforms. Currently, we are working only on Facebook Messenger. We'll do it on WhatsApp and Viber. The idea is you don't have to install anything. You can just go on your favorite chatting app, Telegram, Messenger. Just
Oh,
use it from
nice.
there.
Well, if you want, we can share it on the podcast in the
Okay,
uh,
that would be good. I'll
upload description.
deliver you the link. Yeah, I'll
It would
deliver
be
you
nice to
the
get
link.
the fans into it. So, Jack, about that car, basically,
Yes,
it's a hybrid car. You developed it.
yes. No, I did not. Ford did. Ford, it's a 2009 model. So back in, it's called the Escape Hybrid. That's the Ford Escape Hybrid. And they stopped making these cars in 2012 and they restarted recently. And the rumors out there are like, well, they stopped because these cars were so good. And, so and even right now, this car has 400,000 miles on it. I don't know what that translates
Wow,
to kilometers, but 400,000
it's
miles
a
is
lot.
considered a lot. It's nearing 500,000 miles. And all I've done is tire changes and oil changes. That's it. Everything else has been, and of course, filling in the fluids every now and then. But besides that, um, I've never done anything to it. And the system, okay, so the best part is if I stay under 25 miles per hour on the speed, it doesn't use gasoline at all. So it just
Oh,
runs on
Runs on
the
battery.
hybrid battery, on the battery, yes. And the battery gets recharged every time I brake. Also, it gets recharged with the car battery inside already. So it's like perpetual energy in a way.
hmm I'm reading Elon Musk's biography right now,
Yes.
and I'm going through like all of the how they say it, the components of the electric car economic business,
Yes.
not the mechanical components, but
Okay.
components of the business part. Like
Okay.
uh, they they're focusing on purely electric cars because they believe that hybrid cars is not
Mm-hmm.
enough. It it basically compromises, but it's still not enough. Like also, it's not as efficient. Let's say a classical mechanical car. a gas engine car, it's only
Yes.
20% efficient. So the fuel you put into it,
Yes.
only 20% is converted into velocity. The
Okay.
other is wasted to heat and stuff. And let's say
Okay.
a Tesla Model S, all of the electricity that it has, it
Yes.
uses from 60 to 70 percent of it efficiently, and only
Okay.
30% is wasted is heat compared to 80% wasted is heat in a classical combustion engine car.
Got it. Got it. And my question, I completely agree. I mean, I'm assuming those are numbers from, as you said, from the Tesla site. And as we know, all of these car companies that test, all those numbers come from when the car does not have any weight on it. It's just the chassis and the engine and the batteries in it. So that's one thing to keep in mind. It does not have
Yes.
any other weight on it. And point number two, my question is, what is the energy that goes into making each Tesla? I'm not, for one, I'm not anti-Tesla and I'm not for Tesla. I like a good
Mhm.
discussion. I'm neutral with every company and everybody in the world. I'm Switzerland, right?
Yeah.
But so yeah, that's the discussion being, hey, how much energy did you have to input to make this one Tesla? And that energy that you inputted, the offset that Tesla is going to have in the carbon footprint, is that offset when is that going to be equal to the energy that was inputted? I think I read an article about this, and it takes about 8 to 10 years for that one Tesla
Mhm.
to even give you that balance in the carbon footprint. And at that point, in 8 to 10 years, you're going to need a new hybrid battery, or you're going to have to recondition the hybrid battery inside the Tesla, or any hybrid battery, or any electric car. You have to
Mhm.
recondition the batteries, because you're like it's a laptop battery or a cell phone battery. Um, After 8 to 10 years, it just gives you less and less and less and less.
Tesla's
So
batteries are, you've probably seen those batteries. They're called 18650. It's like
okay,
a AA battery, but larger. They have
yes,
a lot of them in parallel on the bottom of the car.
got it.
And those are lithium ion batteries, a lithium
Yep.
ion. And to produce lithium ion, it takes a lot of energy to create them efficiently, I guess. So in the end, I think that electric cars are still in an early phase to be like truly green, because
Yes.
they're marketed as green cars. But as you said, that offset is pretty large to
Yes.
make a huge difference, to be honest.
Yes. And
Wait,
and another thing that comes to my mind is the majority of people in the world, they cannot afford it. So
yes,
if the goal is to reduce the carbon footprint, then we should make a vehicle, a motorcycle, an electric scooter, bicycle, whatever, that the majority of the people can afford.
yes. Like the Tesla is
And
for like 1% of the people, top 1%.
exactly, it's a big toy to me at this point. It's like, hey, do I want to go to Toys R Us and buy a Hot Wheel today or not?
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, Tesla is more like a toy than a car at the moment. It's just an
Yes.
expensive toy, something you have to show off and not for carbon footprint. But
And
Yeah.
the counter argument that I've heard to this statement sometimes is, well, at least Tesla is taking money away from the 1% and he's applying it to make, because back in the day, the Tesla was 80, 90K, and then it came down 60K, and now the Model 3 came to 30K. So sure, maybe the company is heading us towards a direction where one day it will be maybe $10,000 or $5,000. Hopefully, maybe, I don't know.
That would be a great
Especially if
thing
we
to
can
see.
automate the process. If the whole process is automated, why is it not lower priced?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I guess the raw materials can be expensive because Elon Musk's type of work is he he tends not to buy parts and just assemble them like SpaceX and Tesla.
Correct.
They
Yep.
produce the materials from raw parts and just assemble them.
Yep.
It's all in-house built.
Got it.
Yeah, so Chad, I want to ask you a question. How is the uh, s- like the Silicon Valley startup scene with hackathons over there? Like we have a lot of hackathons in Macedonia, but how
Yes.
how are they in Silicon Valley?
In Silicon Valley, the last hackathon I went to was regarding mental health. And
Hmm.
in the current moment, I mean, for the past a couple of months, and of course, ever since the beginning of this year, it's been very slow with everything. The whole economy is resting. We can put it that way. The whole economy is resting right now, and
It's sleeping.
it's it's sleeping. We're all on sleep mode, which is good. uh, and I think once it starts back up again, the hackathons, I would like to see more space related hackathons. We haven't had many in space related hackathons. Um,
Hmm. But
space related, or even,
have you been to any
yes,
space related hackathons till this far?
there was, I think it was the link that you sent me back last year or maybe a couple years ago.
Yeah.
But no, recently, none over here. And yesterday, I contacted Aviation Institute, the local one over here. They do a lot of aviation maintenance for Boeing, NASA, and I asked them, I'm like, hey, are any of the space companies contacting you guys to start training people to maintain space related vehicles, the Dragon jet or the Dragon capsule or engines that go to space? And they're like, no, you know what? Right now they're still working in the stratosphere area vehicles. So I think there's a lot of room for space related industry to grow over here in the Silicon Valley. You may know
Yeah.
that SpaceX is located in Los Angeles, which is
Yep. Yep. I
Southern
know that.
California, and we're in Northern Silicon Valley, been in Northern California, and also we have tons of knowledge and expertise and software engineers and business analysts and the whole shebang, right? So I'm looking
Yeah,
forward to a new,
it's the innovation
yes,
part of the role. It's the innovation hub.
yes, sir. And I love it. It's diverse and it's innovative. So I'm really looking forward to um, a space rise, a space industry rise within like as soon as possible
You
would
mentioned the
be nice.
stratosphere. They're probably focusing only on the stratosphere because it's pretty cheap to get stuff in the stratosphere. Like the balloon
Yes.
project we're doing right now. You can just
Yes.
get a huge balloon, get a tank of helium, get some
Okay.
electronics, some radios on it, and you're up in the stratosphere, like
And
30
yep,
kilometers above sea level. So it's pretty cheap. Like you can do
that
that for $400, something like that.
yes.
So Metin,
And
I mean, we're having online hackathons in Skopje right now because of the situation. But what
okay.
is your point of view of the startup scene in Skopje, like the hackathon part?
Well, regarding that, I think that it's good and we should have more probably because since the startup scene is only starting to get up and starting to, gain some momentum, I can say we are doing slow, but the sure steady steps. And I think we should have more and more hackathons to get the young people to try themselves, to push themselves, to get out of the comfort zone. We have so
Hmm.
many creative people I know, but they just don't. All, because Macedonia is facing the big problem of brain draining at the moment. The
Yes.
good people are just leaving. I think,
Hmm.
hackathons could help people start a project, maybe turn it into a business, a startup, and so they can stay in the country. We have hackathons, but I think they should get more and more because that's what will help the country and the young people.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So, Metin, what is your favorite hackathon moment?
Well, I think the startup weekend, that's my favorite hackathon, and it happened to the last time it was in October. I I won the second place with a startup there. It's also
Nice.
happening in like, yeah, 2 weeks. 24th of April, it will happen also online hackathon regarding the COVID situation. So I think
Okay.
everybody should get there.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah,
I, I would can we put a link to this hackathon as well for the COVID? That is amazing. That is something the whole world should be doing right now, I
Wait,
think.
the hackathon's topic for this year is COVID-19?
yeah,
Oh, that is
yeah.
amazing. Yeah, we should
I mean,
definitely put that up.
yes, it's started from Techstars. It's globally, so it's today,
Thanks.
this weekend it's happening in Azerbaijan.
Okay.
I was invited there to see what's happening, kind of a mentorship stuff.
Okay.
So yeah, then we'll be having it in Skopje in 2 weekends. I don't know where it
Okay.
will happen in the next weekend. So it's kind of a global movement.
Got it.
Mm-hmm.
That is amazing. That is good. That
In
is
fact,
really
you
good.
have startup weekend in the place you live. Have you heard of it?
Were you asking me,
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Ilya?
yeah. My microphone probably cut off.
So was it
Uh,
I have see like the Techstar over here, I have not heard of a global COVID-19 hackathon yet. I mean, I'm on a lot of different sites. I'm signed up to a lot of different sites that go and tell me, hey, this hackathon's going on or this hackathon's going on. So knowing, but I'm glad we had this conversation now. I can spread the word and distribute that link and see who is up for the challenge over here. And that's what I like. I like this that we're having this podcast to learn, hey, what's going on in Skopje, what's going on in Macedonia, what's going on in Silicon Valley.
Yeah, it's a
Um,
great way to get a feel about stuff. Like you never know, you can
yes,
maybe you can join us in Macedonia for a hackathon one day, or maybe you can join this COVID-19 one.
I would love to. I will join the COVID-19 one.
We can plan out and form a team.
Definitely,
yeah, that,
definitely.
that would be very good, actually. That would be very interesting.
And Metin, if I may ask, like you mentioned the brain drain. I've noticed that a lot in from a lot of different areas of the world. And what do you think? Because I've been thinking about it a lot. And what do you think can motivate the smart people, the ones that are sitting at home and saying, you know what, I can do it, but I'm not going to. I know I could find a solution for COVID-19, but I don't care. I'll let somebody else do it. How can we motivate them? Like any yeah, how do we like be like, hey, we're in this together, man. We have to do it together.
Well, that's an interesting. Actually, it was some time ago.
Right?
I read a story about, motivating people and
Yes.
stuff. It was about a farmer who had his dog. The dog had a bolt on under, was sitting under a bolt. The dog,
Okay.
he was on top of a bolt, and the
Okay.
farmer, was there just watching the dog. There comes another person and asks the farmer, "Why don't you help the dog get out of it?" And the farmer said it's probably not hurting him a lot, so he can move it himself. He was just positioning himself.
Oh God.
I, I think
Yeah.
that I know it's a great story actually because of it. I think that people don't have the problem for themselves. They are not facing
Yes.
it enough, so it isn't hurting them enough, so they can start, doing
Yep.
something about it.
Yeah, absolutely.
The- Yeah, regarding the COVID-19, there are people in our country that are also saying, it's just something fake, it will pass,
Yeah, those
they are
Correct.
people are
brainwashing
just, I
us.
don't know.
Yeah, most of the people are like that until they have someone from their family who is affected, and they be like, "Oh, it's real."
Yes.
Yeah, when it hits them, only then they realize it. Like Another thing why a bunch of people are not willing to like jump up for the effort, I think one, it's not the only like the main reason, but one of the main reasons I believe is bureaucracy. Let's say for this balloon that we're doing, we could have had it launched by now and everything done, like everyone's happy. But because
Yes.
of government regulation, or rather, I'd say lack of regulation, and then not
Hmm.
having a direct procedure for launching a high altitude balloon, uh,
Yep.
is just delaying the entire thing. So we're finding alternatives in other countries. But let's say if we weren't that motivated, let's say, like we would probably just wait within a couple of weeks. Like after they put out the papers, you have to sign this, like fill this. Like most people do not want to put up with that much bureaucracy. And I get them, to be
Yep.
honest. It's just so much time wasting. You can you can do other productive stuff rather than just waste a lot of time on bureaucratic like junk basically.
Yes. 100% agreed. And the bureaucracy, in my mind, I don't want to spread any negative or hate on anyone, and this is not that. It's a true statement. I believe a lot of the bureaucracy rules and regulations were made for monopolistic reasons. And now that those days
Hmm.
are over, now that everybody has a dish satellite at their house, everybody has access to XYZ resource. And we're realizing, well, if we come together, if we all come together and join our resources, neighbor to neighbor to neighbor, we have everything we need within a local region. We don't need a global supply chain. We don't need, I mean, for the most part, we don't need a global supply chain. We can reduce a lot of carbon emission just from reducing the global supply chain. And how do
Hmm.
we rely upon ourselves? Well, I knock on my neighbor's door and I'm like, hey, I'm going to go to the grocery store. Would you like anything that you need so that you don't have to take your car out? I'm going there anyways. And that small step, we can add that in so many different ways, um, and be reliable on a local neighborhood. And that, and that's what I would like to see. I think that has to be the future to make a sustainable future and a healthier future for everyone.
That's a very interesting way of thinking about it. I haven't thought about it that way, to be honest. But that is very interesting. Uh, so let's say
Yeah,
Silicon Valley. How is the bureaucracy over there?
It's um it's better. It's a lot better now. I believe it's just today, um, earlier in the morning, there was a Facebook Live for Oakland, Alameda, which is near. It falls under the Silicon Valley area, and now the politicians who are also community members, they're a lot more open to new ideas. They see the power of technology and combining all of the powers together. So it's become a lot better. It's like, hey, I would like to send a balloon to space, and instead of them saying, oh well, contact us next month or next week, they'll be like, oh, okay, you know what? Let's try to set that up this week, and I want to hear you. And they'll tell us like, hey, these are the safety regulations, the safety precautions, which are understandable. I wholeheartedly believe safety should be number one for any society, any community, because I mean, if I just start in the middle of the street sending fireworks into the air, which, as fun as it sounds, I don't know, maybe my neighbor has a little baby that is sleeping and I don't want to hurt that baby's ears. So safety should be number one. And that's where that fine line comes in between how much safety is becomes too hasslesome, too bureaucratic, or can we kind of loosen the safety strings a little bit so that we could do cool stuff and motivate the next generation of students and kids. And I think the next motivation will come from the space industry. It has to be the space industry. That's what everybody is on Netflix. A lot of people watch space shows. We have SpaceX, we have NASA doing cool stuff. We have Blue Origin, Boeing. Everybody's doing a lot of cool stuff with space. And I think a lot of the new students, the new generation, they're interested in that. But like you said, Dimitar, the bureaucracy, the redlining, the red taping that comes into play, and it allows only certain players to enter the industry. The players that can pay millions of dollars and billions of dollars to pass their testing site, to pass the regulations. I mean, we're all living on the same planet. So and at the basics, but the basis of our human needs, we have the same basic human needs. So if we work together on a global scale to provide everybody with everything, that means we could do anything we want. And I mean, that's a very general way of saying it. It goes into a lot more deeper details. But space race or the space industry, I love it, and I want to see that arise from many different places, starting from Silicon Valley, since it is the home of innovation.
I would really love space to like have a huge innovation in the following years. Like I believe that it's truly the next frontier, and that
Yes,
like mankind can broaden itself not only to be on Earth, but we can go to other planets basically and colonize some other territory. Because um, we have the technology, we have the capability, so why not just do it, you know? So, Metin, what is
yes,
your point of view on this?
Well, actually, maybe the space industry kind of is the future. I've seen also the hackathon. I think you were part of it, the NASA Space Apps Challenge in
Oh no,
Macedonia.
I wasn't in it. I missed it.
Oh, okay. Okay, yeah. I also missed it. It was a great hackathon, I think. Yeah, I think this year they had mentors from Silicon Valley and from NASA there.
Oh yeah, I
So
met
I think
him.
the whole world, yeah, I think the whole world is just focusing on that, and that should
nice.
be the future. Probably everyone should focus. I think that would help us a lot as humankind, and we have as you said, we have the technology, we have everything that need. We just have to pass some stuff that we cannot do, but
Yes,
people in higher positions than us can. That's the unfairness. But if we join together, like in this situation that is happening, I think we can do something great.
definitely.
Mm-hmm. It was pretty interesting to have such a thing in Skopje. Like, uh, along with the NASA Space Apps Hackathon, there was also Space Tech Convention. Like those same mentors, I met them over there at the Space Tech Convention, and they gave a lot of good insight about the industry and like overall how it works. It was pretty interesting to have in Skopje. But as I'm reading Elon Musk's book, um, the way that space companies operate is like really, really conservative. Like, let's say if something malfunctions on the rocket, they just pull it back and do a 3 weeks test and everything procedures, blah blah blah. While SpaceX just like they're launching the rocket, something is given an error. They just recompile the code. I mean, update the code, recompile it, and like upload to
Mhm.
the rocket while the rocket is on the launch stand. They don't wait 3 weeks for it to like go through testing and phases. They know just they can fix that on the on the current launch pad.
Uh,
And
got it.
also because of the way they're working, they've reduced rocket launches like from a very big amount. So the main competitors of SpaceX are Lockheed Martin and Boeing in the US.
Yes.
And these companies have external contracts for parts with other companies. And when they bring in the parts, they just assemble the rocket, which costs a lot because it's all with external contractors. And there's a lot of overhead when you do those types of contracts. Well, SpaceX does that all in one place, and it reduces the cost of rocket massively. So a SpaceX rocket compared to a equivalent version of a Lockheed Martin or a Boeing aircraft, the SpaceX
Yes.
one costs only a third of the price, or even less, but can carry double the payload what Lockheed Martin and Boeing can achieve.
Yes.
Yeah,
And
I
that
think
and
that.
that leads me. Go ahead, Metin.
Yeah, no, just yeah, you can have it.
I was going to talk about the brain drain situation again, because it's like SpaceX has all the brains now in with SpaceX, right? So they're doing good things, perfect. That's great. I would love them to be successful in all their endeavors. Now, let's say for us, for someone, our company, our organization would like to start a space company. How do we train, right? How do we train the next generation quickly, a little quicker than Boeing and Lockheed Martin ever could, a little quicker than SpaceX ever could? We need to train ourselves. Well, I need to train myself, and I want to pass that and knowledge quicker to whoever's interested in space. Like, yo, hey, we're going to go to space. We're going to go to the moon. We're going to bring back all these resources. Let's go. We got to train these kids, right? They're lacking that motivation again. So that's it. That's all I was going to say, is that SpaceX is doing cool things. And I believe you need personnel. You need not, well, everybody is smart, but you need people dedicated to that mission and willing to learn about whatever the project may be. And yes, that is it.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, that's actually what I was also gonna say, that they have the motivation and they have the belief. Elon Musk just kind of trained them that to believe and to be their goal that they will achieve and that they are better than the other companies. And I think that that's what's driving them forward. That's what's keeping them up. That's why they are
Yes.
pushing the change more than the others. That's what I'm gonna say. I think
Uh,
that Elon Musk and
Definitely.
his
I
mentality
definitely.
is driving them up.
And Dimitar, the book you're reading, I read that. I heard the audiobook on that too a while back in
Yeah.
like 2017. And
Hmm.
two things that I got out of it was, one, he likes to wear leather jackets and jeans a
Oh
lot.
yeah.
So, and the second thing was that sexiness. That's what he sold to the brains, right? I mean, I'm a geek myself, and I love it. I love to be a nerd and geek out on stuff.
It's
And I
amazing.
also like to feel sexy, right? I want to be able to go to work. I don't have to wear a tie all the time. I don't have to wear, I mean, there's a time and a place for everything. But if we're having fun, if there's music blasting in the background and we're all just building space rockets together, that's a lot more fun, instead of coming in and saying, hey, hi, yeah, office meeting. Okay, no, man, just come in. It's a big warehouse, it's a big garage. Everybody's making a rocket. There's music going on. You want some food, eat some food first, get energized, and let's make some rockets. And that energy, right? That's the energy to make more energy. That's what we need.
Like a lot of people need to hear that. Like as long as you're having fun at the job and feeling like that you're working for yourself rather than someone else,
Yes.
then I believe that you
Yes.
can truly achieve amazing innovation. Then it's just gonna be amazing to
Yes.
work. The employees at SpaceX work like 90 hours per week, which is insane. It's like crazy. Like
That's
people
quite a lot. Yeah.
complain about
Yeah.
50 hours per week. Like 90 is just borderline crazy. Like you just realize how motivated these people are and how much fun they're having while they're creating stuff. Like a
Definitely.
lot of people should replicate that work ethic, that work model, and like realize that companies can be fun.
Yes, definitely. And they are fun. The goal is, hey, we're gonna go get resources and we're gonna bring them back so our kids can build more upon it, right? Or at least that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking, hey, we're on planet Earth. Everybody needs energy. We need power. We need more power. We're always going to need more energy. And instead of depleting our resources or utilizing all the resources on Earth, we have so many resourceful um, planets and satellite bodies, such as the moon, that are orbiting around us or near us, asteroids. So why not figure out a way to harm our planet less? And I'm not saying, hey, let's go bring more harm to other planets, but what I'm saying is we
Yeah.
can use certain resources flying around us, just going, I don't know where they're going, and try to, extract useful things to us. And then, yeah, maybe we need that energy, a lot of power to go to Mars and beyond.
Uh,
We'll need some good
I
innovation to figure that out. Yeah,
yeah,
Metin?
Douglas, I wanted to ask you actually, as we were discussing on, the motivation and stuff, how do new
Yes.
startups on Silicon Valley there, how do they motivate their their new staff that they recruited or their co-founders, if they found it probably, because it's
Yes.
a small startup, you are a small team, how do you motivate them to keep going? I don't know about this. I don't know, but the situation there is more like you get funding early. Regarding the Europe and Macedonia stuff, you have to have a
Yes.
product and probably sell it, then you get the funding, which is kind of not
Okay.
motivational at all.
Okay. That's a great question, Metin. It's things have been changing here as well. From the last, I've been in the startup scene in Silicon Valley for a good 12 years, averaging 12 years,
Yeah,
12,
that's
13.
amazing.
So I've seen it's been amazing and not so as amazing as well. The whole reason I've been working with mental health services is because I believe that is the basis upon which we can build a new world, a new AI, a new system that is helpful and makes people happy. I do not want to, like, I've been going to certain startup meetings or hackathons and whatnot. And the first thing that you do is, hey, here's food and here's alcohol, Like, I don't need alcohol as the lubricant to motivate me to do something. If I'm motivated, I will be naturally motivated. Sure, I would love to have a beer and whatnot with my friends after maybe we finish the project. So that idea of, hey, like a lot of me and my friends, I used to be that way as well. I was like, hey, let's go to this hackathon. They have free beer and free food. Hey, let's go to this one. They have free beer, free food. And it became a norm that, hey, if they don't have food and alcohol, I'm not going to go. And so you talk about motivation now in the new age of internet, I would call it, this new era that we are going to create. It should be more about uh, personal self-motivation, because this will help me, my family, and the future generations. That should be the motivation, which is now, we see that, right? We see a lot of startups that are making social impact, reduce carbon footprint, do this, do that. But we can't be silly about it. We can't just hop on the new shiny train. We have to really think about it. We really have to be like, well, if I make a total electric car, where are the resources coming from? Where is this lithium coming from? How much energy is going in to make this new shiny thing? And they have that saying in my Punjabi culture as well, that's what kids do. They always hop on the new shiny train. The kids get attracted to shiny things. And
Mm-hmm.
we can't be kids anymore. We can be kids, but we have to be a little more adult kids. We have to
Have
think
to be
about the
aware
future
of
as well.
the consequences and like
Yes,
the entire picture of it. Because if you're creating
yes,
something innovative that saves energy, like maybe those parts you get to assemble the thing, maybe it's causing harm to someone else. Maybe there's like
exactly.
an ore mine next to someone's village or something that's polluting them. So you have to account for everyone. You can't just view the market as the main thing. You have to consider everything to be a stable thing.
Everything. Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's a great point, actually. I think we should focus on that to make a sustainable world. Otherwise, we just have to, to say to Elon Musk, come on faster, we need to go to Mars. If we continue like this, Earth isn't going to be a place we can live anymore.
Right. Right. And I do not agree with that. With Elon Musk's statement of, "Hey, we have to go to Mars because Earth is going to suck." I fully disagree with that statement. And we can only go. My statement would be, we can only go to Mars if everybody on Earth is happy and taken care for. That way, everybody on Earth will be motivated towards one mission, and that mission is, whatever the mission may be: go to the moon, go to Mars, go. But first, it's about us on Earth, our neighbors, and COVID-19 is a very good reminder that no matter what happens in any part of the world, it affects us all. And so it goes back to that theory we were just talking about, like, hey, we have to consider everyone, be respectful of our environment everywhere. And COVID-19, it's a great reminder of that fact.
That's a very good point. I really feel that a lot of people should hear to that. Like, those are words of wisdom. Like, a lot of people should hear what you said right now.
I appreciate it. Thank you, Dimitar. And I will say that I do preach that as well, actually, to my family and friends. And
That's good.
yes.
Yeah, we have to form kind of a quote on that and put it everywhere, post it on social media. It was very good, actually. We should definitely do that.
That goes in the Hall of Fame.
Yes, Hall of Fame of the
So, guys,
podcast.
I think we should be wrapping up because our time limit is being sort of reached. So,
Okay,
how do we
yeah.
think that we should end this episode?
I would like to know more about Skopje. Metin, this is our first time, and there's very, very intelligent folks everywhere around the world, but I definitely feel Macedonia, Skopje are areas that are, like, you guys are thinking way beyond levels that we are thinking over here. So I would like to definitely stay in touch and learn more from Metin.
Yeah, I've been learning from you also. We definitely should, as Dimitar, to do an episode 2 of this, because our conversation just can't end. We have to talk more and more. We are sharing
Definitely.
great things. I'm learning good things by talking. So, yeah, I think, Dimitar, we need an episode 2
We
sooner.
definitely need an episode 2. There's a lot more to cover. Like, I really feel good that we did this episode. Like, it was super interesting. It's super interesting. And I need to fix my microphone issue because I'm still hearing myself. I'm getting confused while I'm speaking.
Yeah,
Would
you
be
have
It
a
sounds
bit
good
of
thing
an
for
echo.
episode 2.
from this end.
Yeah, you have an echo a bit, but it's making you more powerful. Like, I'm the head of podcast, so I'm the man.
Super
present. Oh, it's a
Well,
beautiful day.
let's end on this. What's your
Yes.
favorite and worst part about your startup scene? Let's say, Metin, what's your favorite and least favorite part of the Skopje startup scene? And Jag, you say the same thing.
Okay. Go ahead, Metin.
Okay. Well, my favorite part of the scene is that we are currently building a community, and kudos to Startup Macedonia. They have built a platform where we connect with the other startups. They're organizing a lot of events. The the part that I love is that the community is just helping everyone together. Uh, in the because of the situation, we also every of the startup offered their resources to other startups as well. So we help each other on the situation. I mean, I think that's the kind of my favorite part of the scene. Well, what I don't like is that young people aren't getting interested in joining the startups anymore. They are just
Hmm.
like, I'm out of here, or let's just outsource something.
Hmm.
I think that we should work on that more, make young people love startups, more interested about startups, because currently at the events that we go, I see the same people every time. We are not having new people join the scene, so the thing isn't just really growing that much. I think we should focus on that, and a great role on that would play the universities, kind of the main university, UKIM, that is in Skopje. That should help a lot. They have their own accelerator now, Business Accelerator UKIM. I think that young people should focus on that, and they should offer young people, you know, tell them about entrepreneurship, tell them that that's actually the future. I think that we should more focus on getting the young
Definitely.
people to join the startup scene.
Yes, sir.
That's a
What
very good
about you?
message to spread.
Thank
And to the viewer, we're ending this episode, and hopefully you got gained a bit of insight about the startup scene. So
you.
comment down below, what would
Wait.
you start a startup about? What would be your startup? This was episode 3 of the Gentleman's Podcast, and I hope all of you enjoyed it. We will definitely
Wait.
do another episode because this was the most interesting episode by far.
Give
Amazing.
us 2 more minutes. Dimitar, can you
Okay,
hear us?
okay.
Well, we didn't hear Jack's part. Jack's part about what he
I,
loves and what he does.
I,
Oh my God.
I I
I'm
think
multitasking.
I
Sorry,
agree with you, Metin.
my brain
It's
is
okay.
everywhere.
It's okay.
Good.
I feel like I've been talking too much anyways, but I wholeheartedly agree with Metin, your statement regarding the motivation, the new generation motivation. And I think about that every day a lot too. And I am composing, or I'm trying to compose original lyrics to my original music to motivate people. And I think love in the sense of um, what what makes what makes a total overall day, a daily experience good. You know, I like to wake up, have good breakfast, take a shower, and be productive in a project I'm involved with, whether it's going to the moon or space or making my music. And then also a I like to talk to a female, a woman of my dreams, and have a good conversation with her and be like, baby, this is what I did today. What do you think about it? Or she can join us, whichever way. So, love in the sense of physical talking, that physical presence between a man and a woman, or anybody that you may want to make your significant other, that plays a big role in having a healthy mental state of mind. I talk about this fact with my therapist over here a lot, that, you know what? There's some medication that I get from a doctor which really kills my sex drive. And I don't like that, because when I'm not having sex, then the next day or which at some point in the week, I start to feel really crummy, really bad. And I need some medication that doesn't kill my sex drive so I can continue having sex and continue making cool things and continue having fun and being happy. So, yes, no more online dating. No, I'm kidding. It's okay. That happens. But yeah, um, that is something I would like to see improve, is people making um, original organic relationships with one another. Yes.
Yeah, that's good. Well, I'd like to thank Dimitar for having us.
Yes, Dimitar.
I
Thank you.
hope we see him in the future faster, sooner.
Oh, we definitely will.
Soon.
It was
Soon.
nice having you guys. Amazing podcast so far. Podcast. I'm still being confused by the audio. We should definitely organize within these couple of weeks, like episode 2 of this
Episode
space
3.
podcast, startup podcast. Uh, by far, it has been amazing, and I feel that I've gained an insight on each point of view, which is very beneficial. So, to the viewer, comment down below which topic would you start a startup on, and if you're interested, you can join for future episodes of the podcast. Just comment below. And it was nice having you guys.
Awesome. Likewise, it's great to know you, Metin. Great to hear from you again, Dimitar. Let's continue with our space balloon project, please. I would love to continue.
We will
And
definitely do it.
Until next time, up, and away.
Goodbye, guys.
Bye. See ya.
Bye-bye.